lately I've been feeling things change. We've been working hard, no sleep, get it every day. And I swear that we ain't stopping till we pay. Yeah, the pressure on, gotta make it work, triple play, yeah.
Triple Play Fantasy. We are back in action. Coach James Lewis on the other end. Doc Mendelson. What up? Happy Thanksgiving. What are you thankful for this week around? What are you fantasy basketball thankful for?
All right, I'm fantasy basketball thankful that I'm about to take the lead for you in Cats.
Not
come on, that's a softball question. You gave me that one.
Sure.
But player-wise, man, Herb Jones, Miles Turner, two of my guys that are helping me in the stocks category.
Herb Jones is a drop candidate, if you ask me.
No.
He's thankful for having more games on Sunday. We're all thankful for that, right?
Coach, have you seen that 3-minute compilation of Herb Jones pick sixes from last year?
No, I haven't.
I'm going to send it to you when we're done. If you haven't seen this, whenever Herb Jones gets a steal, he doesn't pass a ball. He doesn't.
Good. It's the only time he's going to get buckets anyway.
That's honestly true.
Especially with him shooting, 17% from the three-point. I don't know what it is, but it's atrocious. All right, we're here. I'm thankful for AD. Hey, that guy has been playing this year. 20, even though his team stinks, and 25 points, 12 rebounds, a couple blocks, a steal. He's doing it all for the atrocious Los Angeles Lakers. Games played. These teams only have 2. It stinks if you're Hornets, Rockets, Raptors owner for this week. And that's just how it is. Sometimes it's about your team plays more games than the other team. It really comes a factor once playoff time comes around. But 12 teams have 3 games played, and half of the league has 4 games played. So you should have loaded lineups this week outside of Houston, Toronto, and Charlotte. Pickup candidates. Here we have it. Larry Nance of the Pelicans. Caleb Martin. Jalen Williams. J-Dub of OKC. John Konchar over there for the Grizzlies. Alec Burks and stinking Detroit Pistons. Jericho Simms for the New York Knickerbockers. And Norman Powell for those Clippers. Number 1 pickup, Larry Nance Jr. Small forward, power forward eligible. Again, for the Pelicans. And he's finishing games ahead of Jonas Valanciunas because of his defensive versatility, his ability to switch, and then just because he's an all-around good basketball player. Last week, averaging 14 points, 7 boards, a couple dimes, shooting 74%, a steal, 1.7 blocks. Yes, this is a small sample size, but this shows that numbers are trending in the right direction. Against Boston, he had 5 stocks to go along with his 16 points and 8 boards. And then against Memphis, he had 19 points, 7 boards, 2 assists, 2 blocks. A little bit of everything when it comes to category leagues. How you feel on Larry Nance Jr., Doc?
I mean, I've loved me some Larry Nance Jr. for a while. And the thing that's really just held him back has been the availability. He's always gotten an injury here and there. He's been battling some illnesses. He does have Crohn's disease. He had a kind of weird illness last year where he dropped 10, 15 pounds. But, I mean, this is a guy that when he's been playing, the last 6 years, he's averaging close to 2 stocks a game, which is what you really love in category leagues. And, I mean, just even from the field goal percentage-wise, he's shooting 68.4% from the field, 45.5% from 3. I mean, he's an efficient player, small forward, power forward eligible. I mean, you just hope that he can stay healthy.
He's a safe pick as long as he is healthy. He might be single digits in points some games, but he gets a little bit of notches in every single category, along with our second big pickup this week, and that's Caleb Martin. The shorthanded Miami Heat has been playing Caleb heavy minutes, including 47 minutes against Washington yesterday, where he had 12 points, 5 boards, 3 dimes, 2 3-pointers made, and had 3 stocks. So he gives you defensive categories. He's been hitting the 3 ball, which is something that I don't think will hold up too much, but in the last week, he's been giving you 3 per game. Butler right now is out, and Bam missed some time, along with some other candidates. He's so versatile, so he can play with so many lineups, and he plays heavy minutes. He's kind of taken on that defensive role that P.J. Tucker had last year. So Caleb Martin may not be sustainable throughout a whole season, but he's definitely streamable multiple weeks. Last year, I had him like 4 or 5 different weeks where I picked him up. I didn't feel bad about dropping him, but Caleb Martin is a solid NBA player and a solid 12 league Cats production guy. Moving on, Jalen Williams, the rookie from Oklahoma City. He's still kind of getting over that eye injury that put him out for the beginning of the year, but he's starting about half the time. And Poku rolled his ankle. He played more minutes. Take a look at Jeremiah Robinson-Earl because of that as well. We'll see how much time Poku will miss. But he's 20% rostered, and he gets dimes. So against Memphis and Washington, he had 7 assists. Against Memphis, 6. Against Washington, he can rebound. He can hit the 3. He can get some swipes. Just an all-around really good basketball player. And like other rookies, he'll have his ups and downs and ebbs and flows. But right now, it could pay off for taking a risk with this rookie.
And one of the things you're not going to see in the box score, and Coach, we were watching the Wizards game, is he really like helps on the defensive end. You know, Poku is good, obviously, for stats, and he's, you know, a mismatch on offense. But him and Josh Giddey had like a -18 while they were on the floor. And so they got subbed out. And when they made their comeback and ultimately SGA hit the game winner, Jalen Williams was the one that was kind of helped sparking that offense and you know, holding it down on defense. So once again, things that you're not going to necessarily see from a numbers perspective, but that might buy him some more playing time.
And he was nearly a 50, 40, 90 player in college, but his playmaking stands out in his defense. And in the draft, you get Chet Holmgren, and he sits out the whole year. You got this Jalen Williams kid to ride with the rest of the way. And I think
his last 3 games, 34, 28, 36 minutes, all season highs. So,
and from Santa Clara, we move on to Purdue, Fort Wayne, Macedone's finest, John Konchar, starting in place of Desmond Bane. He's a rebound machine, 17% roster. In the last week, he averaged 12 points, 9 boards, 56%. From the field, he'll hit some threes as well, 2.3 against OKC, 19 points, 10 boards, 5 3-pointers, and then against the Pels, 9 points, 8 boards, 2 assists. Doesn't wow you too much, but, I mean, 37 minutes in that game. He's been playing a lot of time, and we saw him produce at the beginning of the year when Dylan Brooks was out. So, John Konchar, shooting guard, small forward eligible, is good for streaming while Desmond Bane is out.
I was going to say, one of the things, too, in the offseason, the Grizzlies signed him to a 3-year, $19 million extension. And by no means is $6.3 million going to break the bank. But it is a little bit of a commitment. So it shows that they believe in him and that they see him as part of a rotation, at least for the foreseeable future.
He's just a good overall basketball player that a lot of people do not know. Alec Burks of Detroit is somebody we want you to take a look at throughout the season, which is 4 games. He's coming in late here. He's averaging 15 points, 2 boards, 2 assists, 2 3-pointers against the Lakers. In his last game, he had 23 points, 3 boards, 3 assists, and hit 5 threes. He's point guard, shooting guard, small forward eligible in Yahoo. And we love versatility as far as position is concerned.
I mean, he's definitely a points league guy. You know, I love some Alec Burks. He's been on 7 teams, though. I mean, he's not giving you anything in the rebounds, assists, steals category. He doesn't have a block this year, Coach. I don't have a block in the NBA, and I don't play in the NBA. All right? He's 6'6". How do you not have a block? That's crazy.
And of note, Killian Hayes has been playing a lot better recently in Detroit. With Cunningham out, he had a dud this week, but his last game, he gave you 15 points, and he's good for some swipes and definitely gets assists and rebounds. So he's more of like a category guy. I'm glad that you pointed out Alec Burks is more of a points league player. Jericho Simms, I think he's a little bit more of a points league player, although in the last week he's giving you a steal and giving you 1.3 blocks. He is stealing the playing time that would have thought Isaiah Hartenstein would have gotten with Mitchell Robinson out against Golden State. 10-10, 3 blocks against Utah, 11 points, 13 boards, 2 assists, and a steal.
And just one of the things, too, like watching him, and especially against the Jazz game, like he plays with such a high motor. And I think one of the things with Hartenstein is he's tall and he's kind of stiff. And I think, especially with the way that the Knicks, it feels like they've been pushing the ball more than in years past. I mean, he's a guy that even if it's not showing up in the stat sheet, he's, you know, trying to tip balls in the air, Going for rebounds, doing all of that stuff. And that's going to get him more playing time. When Tibbs loves someone, he grinds him.
Yeah, he's known to play his players, much like Nick Nurse over there in Toronto, although he doesn't have any players to play right now. Norman Powell for the Clippers has been shooting well as of late. Just yesterday against San Antonio, 26 points, hit 5 threes and 2 swipes. So he is good for some swipes, some threes and points. He's not going to really give you any assists or rebounds, so to speak, but he's 38% roster. And you could have worse people on your team in a 12-team league.
Also, Luke Kennard is out at least 1 week with a calf strain. So, and we don't know kind of what Kawhi's availability will be. I know he did return. So just kind of keep an eye on him.
Yeah, we know Kawhi's going to be on minutes restriction or whenever he decides that he wants to check in the game, whether it's the end of the game and he's not playing back-to-backs. Paul George didn't finish the game either with a knee thing. So it's something to watch to see if there's minutes for him to play. Speaking of watch candidates, Jalen Duren of Detroit, Isaiah Stewart out for 2-3 weeks. So we're hoping to see him increase in playing time, although Dwayne Casey is hell-bent on playing Marvin Bagley, who's not good at basketball. But we're hoping that Jalen Duren can get some bump. If he gets closer to like a 30 minutes per game, he's a must-hold because he's going to get you points, rebounds, and blocks. But right now he's still hindering at the low end of the 20 minutes per game. Against the Lakers, we saw him got 12 points, 8 boards, 1 and 1. So, I mean, he does have potential, and we would like this rookie to play. Another rookie that has been playing well recently, Jeremy Sochan. Watch him in the 5 games this week. He started, gave you 8 points, 5 boards, and 3 assists. He looks the part when you watch the games, and San Antonio plays a great brand of basketball where they share the ball, and he's someone that is good at sharing it.
Life, death, taxes, and you talking about Jeremy Sochan every week. Coach, do you know what he's shooting from 3-point percentage this year?
I'm gonna go say no. I don't know what he's shooting.
It's lower than his roster percentage. It's 16.7. Like
it's probably the same as Herb Jones. Okay, the guy that you love.
I just want what I'm gonna give you some pushback on this. Tell me why you love Sochan. 7.4 points per game, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. Not even 1.4 stocks. Like, what do you love about him?
He's got potential. He's only a rookie, man. I don't know if this kid isn't even legal to drink alcohol. Okay, buddy. Give him some time, and because he's starting, Pop believes in him. He's got the swag of a young Dennis Rodman, and he's out there, okay? It's coming. In the last week, the Clippers, 11 points, 4 boards, 5 dimes. Like, there's some room for growth. I'm not telling you to pick him up. I'm just telling you to watch him because
every dud game he has, he'll be getting a text from me.
All right. Speaking of dud games, if you were hoping that you were going to stream Gabe Vincent this week, Doc, and he didn't play against Washington, you were pretty disappointed. But injuries come and go. But he had at least 2 3-pointers made in like the last 10 games, so he's good for at least 3-pointer streams. But he's been producing pretty well, and we saw him be a streamer last year, big time.
Yeah, and the last one I just want to add on here is Shake Milton. So Tyrese Maxey out 3 to 4 weeks. He hurt his left foot Friday against the Bucks. And so, in his first game starting with the Timberwolves, albeit they lost, but 27 points, 10 of 15 from the field. He dropped 3 threes, 6 rebounds, 2 assists in 38 minutes, which is a season high. Like he's going to be the second option. And if Embiid does sit out, he's probably going to be the primary scorer. So, kind of this is all a little bit speculative right now because maybe Melton steps up a little bit, or maybe just Philly's offense in general takes a huge step back.
And that was the thought, was DeAnthony Melton was going to take this position by storm. But now with Maxey going down as well, it's really wide open for somebody to step in there.
Maybe Tobias Harris decides to step up and earn that contract.
Yeah, or maybe Matisse Thybulle. And he's
I'm
still going to
waiting for
produce
that.
you defensive stats. I mean, somebody like these are, again, we're doing watches right here. So you want to watch just the Philly roster in general outside of Joel
You
Embiid.
don't want to watch the games, just want to watch the roster.
Well, they did beat Milwaukee. Like it's crazy, but they are playing a little bit better as of late. Our safe candidates include Santi Aldama, which is still playing a big role for the Grizzlies, although Jaren Jackson Jr.'s return has been exciting for Memphis. Eric Gordon, I like him because he gets to the free throw line and he shoots a high percentage there. And hey, who knows? Maybe a contender is going to get on the phone with Houston because that is just an awful place to be if I'm a veteran like Aaron Gordon. I would definitely want out of town. DeAndre Hunter, he should be owned in points leagues, not necessarily categories, but he does give you points and he gives you rebounds, but it doesn't give those defensive stats that you beg for. Now, Thad Young does. And in his last game, he had 18 points, 9 boards, 4 assists, and 4 swipes. So Thad Young, while the decimated Toronto Raptors, they need bodies, although they're not playing any games this week. He's somebody that you could consider going forward if those injuries keep up, especially Pascal Siakam. Grant Williams has been a model of consistency all year long. You could do worse. We're not necessarily telling you to pick up. And then Reggie Jackson, stat-wise, he's pretty chill. In the last week, he averaged 17 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 2.5 3-pointers a game.
Stop giving him compliments, please.
He's an okay fantasy player. Is that a terrible concept? Like, I mean, I'm not going crazy here, but he's all right for fantasy.
I mean, he's a ball hog, and when you watch him play, it's a visual eyesore. I think the guy might dribble more than anyone else that I've ever seen play basketball this year.
Even your guy, Chris Paul, that you're begging to be on a bench point guard, that's a dribbling machine, but he deserves to.
Exactly. And, I mean, look, he plays traffic cone defense, so you got to maximize the dribbles on offense.
Man, he's battling an injury. Give the guy a break.
I mean, he's 37, though. Like, you don't expect him to be a spry defender.
That part is true. He's still going to get you steals. Drop candidates. We were just talking about the backcourt of the Clippers, but John Wall, though he had 15 assists yesterday, I don't really know what to make of him because he misses back-to-backs. It seems like they play a lot of back-to-backs, so it's hard to have someone like that in your lineup. Doesn't shoot high percentages, especially his free throw percentage has been really porous this year, and he turns the ball over a lot. Caris LeVert, he had the 40-point night, but other than that, I'm not too much of a fan in 12-team category formats. I think he's a drop. Io DeSumo is up and down gameplay. I think Caruso and Dragic have been playing a little bit better in that Chicago backcourt, but I don't know what to do with any of those guys.
I agree with you. Like Wall is a turnover machine. He had 6 in 13 minutes the other night. LeVert, he's probably a better real life player than fantasy. He just doesn't. There's not enough stats around to go in Cleveland, and Io is just that's so frustrating because he's a good player, but you and I were talking about off air. Like he's not going to get you the points because DeRozan and Levine are there. He's not going to get you assists because a lot of times they play ISO ball, so he's not going to be the ones to pass and play make for them. So. Yeah, I just don't see anything of Ross. I mean, he averaged 3 assists, and for a point guard, even with Lonzo out, like, how can you feel confident about that?
Yeah, it seemed like he was like a little bit better last year as he was fighting for that playing time. Now he's starting, so Io's a pass for us. Weekend, Saturday, Sunday, you got the Mavericks going back to back, so you can get 2 games in the weekend and then make your move. Dorian Finney-Smith is like an all-time streamer just to pick him up for a couple stats, especially in category.
He's averaging 33 minutes a game. I think that's second most on the Mavs behind Luka, or third most behind him and Dinwiddie.
Yeah. Royce O'Neal comes to mind with people that are similar, although O'Neal has been a better fantasy contributor this year.
Dorian Finney-Smith shot 7 of 13 from 3 the other night. That's so unexpected.
He's improved that. He used to get as much room as they give Isaac Okoro these days to him once upon a time, but he's made you pay, and he really worked on his game, so you have to tip your hat to him, and he's just a great fit with Luka in the Mavs. Sunday streamers, people that go back-to-back on Sunday and Monday. You don't typically have 9 teams going between the Hawks, Celtics, Nets, Mavs, Cavs, Pacers, T-Wolves, Magic, 76ers, and Wizards. There are players there for you to get an extra game, possibly on a Monday and out on Sunday. We talked about how important games played on Sundays is. If you get more games on Sunday, you got a good chance for your week.
Yes, sir. And just a really deep league streamer. Tyrese Halliburton rolled his ankle the other night, albeit he did play against the Magic, but maybe they keep him out on a back-to-back. So TJ McConnell.
TJ McConnell.
I know he hasn't been.
TJ McConnell drop us.
I know he hasn't been getting the minutes. I mean, this is a really deep streamer, but he gets you steals. He's averaging 1.1, and he's only playing 16 minutes. Imagine if he got 30 minutes in a night. I mean, he was getting some triple doubles last year.
Magic decimated by injuries. You see, Bol is actually he's definitely warranted a spot. Like he's a good player right now.
Is he pickup of the year right now?
No way.
Name me someone that's been a more valuable pickup. You can't.
At the top of my head, hey, how about Chris Boucher? A lot of people didn't have him rostered.
I'm taking Bol.
Yeah, Kelly Olynyk, week 1. A lot of people didn't have Kelly Olynyk. He's been better this year. There you go,
right,
Kelly.
All right.
Shout out White Kelly. At the end here, we'll see you next week. I hope you liked it. Give us a like, subscribe, and we'll be back next week, Sunday morning, to prepare you for the following week. For Doc, I'm Coach. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Peace.
Lately I've been feeling things change. We've been working hard, no sleep, get it every day. And I swear that we ain't stopping till we pay. Yeah, the pressure on, gotta make it work, triple play, yeah.